the Zoom button. Good morning, Judge. We're here to move forward today in seeking a 12-month protective order in the matter of Heidi Howard Morris versus Mr. Morris, Mr. Joshua Adam Morris. I did have a moment to speak with Mr. Morris. We were not able to reach any sort of agreement. By way of very brief opening, Your Honor, if I may, the parties are husband and wife. They've been married since May 15th of 2015. We have filed an action for divorce. I do want to let the court know that action was filed on March 14th, 2023, and was assigned to Judge Farmer with a 30-day status set for April 18th of 2023. We have not, as of yet, been able to secure service on Mr. Morris. As you'll hear today, he's located right now in the state of Kentucky with his mother. But in terms of the petition, we filed this petition on March the 3rd with the court at the same date that the court issued its ex parte order, and we had a private process server serve Mr. Morris on the same date. Mr. Morris has engaged, and you'll hear testimony today, in apparently he was has some he was having a mental health crisis, had made threats against his life and the life of the petitioner, his wife Heidi, as well as their child Juliet. The parties have one minor child, Juliet Morris, who is 14 years old and is a student here at Marcia. We are seeking today the entry of a protective order. The testimony is going to be able to establish that there has been a history of domestic violence in these parties' relationships, two of which were actually documented. Mr. Morris was arrested for family violence battery in 2008, and then again in 2011. Testimony is going to show that there has maintained a violent atmosphere in the party's home, and which culminated on or about February the 18th with Mr. Morris stating that he wanted to he wanted to be that Heidi and Juliet go to another world, which was communicated to Heidi that he wanted to kill them. You're going to hear testimony today that Mr. Morris had attempted a suicide when he was a teenager and shooting himself in the face, and at that point, that's when he believed that there was another world, meaning that you're not of this world, however, have passed into another. So when he communicated that, Miss Morris took that as a direct threat against her life. He followed up, you'll hear testimony that he followed up that comment, not only with the fact that he believed and could understand how people annihilate their families, at which point Miss Morris fled to her mother's home outside of Statesboro with the minor child until such time as she could secure this temporary protective order. You're also going to hear testimony that prior to the entry of the protective order, that Mr. Morris had contacted both the minor child and Miss Morris, advising that he was going to kill himself while they were gone, and that they did not need to come home alone. And you'll see evidence today showing the same. Finally, Your Honor, you will see evidence today that after the entry of the protective order in service on March 3rd, that on or around, March 4th, Mr. Morris had contacted his brother to essentially contact the minor child for him in violation of this TPO. So, again, this is a volatile situation, and we would ask that the court enter a 12-month protective order upon the hearing of evidence.
Mr. Morris, are you planning on having any witnesses?
Yes, ma'am. Both my mom and my brother are here.
All right, they can't be in the room with you. Yes, Sasha. Thank you. Have a good weekend, Sasha.
Thank you, Judge. You too.
So they need to leave. Is that right?
They absolutely cannot be in the room with you if they're going to testify.
Okay, sure. Hey, you. One moment.
Do you have any witnesses, Ms. Pennywell?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, they're gone.
All right, if both of you raise your right hand. Your military right. Miss Morris. Miss Morris.
Heidi.
Miss Morris. There you go. Do y'all swear affirm testimony about to give is the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth? Just nod your heads. All right, you can place your hands down. All right, go ahead, Miss Pennywell. You can go ahead and start asking. You can call your first witness.
Okay, I'd like to call Heidi Howard Morris. If you could unmute Miss Morris.
Sorry about that.
Yep, you are fine. Can you state your name to the court, please?
My name is Heidi Nicole Howard Morris.
Okay. And Miss Howard Morris, you were related to Joshua Adam Morris through marriage, is that correct?
That's correct.
And you were married to Mr. Morris on May 15th of 2005, is that correct?
2010.
2010, excuse me. All right, and you all have one child together, is that correct?
That's correct.
And what's that child's name?
Juliet Morris.
Okay, and what is her birth date?
Her birthday is January 17th, 2009.
Okay. Ms. Morris, I want to take you through the, you filed a petition seeking a family violence temporary protective order, is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. I want to take you through the actions that happened on or about February 18th, okay?
Okay.
On February 18th, were you at home that date?
Yes, we're speaking of the evening that began this. Okay, yes, I was at home.
Okay. Who was home with you?
Well, Juliet was here, but asleep, and Adam was also here. And I imagine Evan, my brother-in-law, who was living with us at the time, was here as well, but he would have been downstairs. Yeah, that's it.
Okay. And your brother-in-law who is living with you, was there a separate living quarters in your house?
There's a finished basement, and he was in the guest bedroom in that basement.
Okay. All right. So I'd like you to tell the court how it came about that you had a conversation that evening that concerned you with Mr. Morris.
Well, the events of that evening went basically like this. Adam came to me and said that he realized that we were always telling Juliet, our child, to come to us when she was having mental health problems, and he realized that he had not been doing that, and he wanted to talk about it. And he said that he couldn't help wondering if Juliet and I would be better off in the other world. And I said, do you mean that you wonder if Juliet and I would be better off without you? And he said, no, not exactly. And then he told me that he had been in this really dark place two other times in our history. Both of those time periods were times in which he was very mean to me. And I said, Adam, Juliet and I want to be in this world. And he nodded. And then he kind of leaned in to give me a hug. And that was how that event happened. I wasn't really able to sleep comfortably after that.
So when he made that statement to you, what did you interpret that to mean that he was saying to you?
About the other world? Mm-hmm. You mean?
Yes.
Well, he has an ongoing idea that that when you, well, all right, it stems back from him shooting himself. He feels that he shot himself, and then that person died, and he woke up in this other world, living another life as another being. And that essentially that's what happens when people die. We wake up in some other existence. And lately, Angel and I have both had various health issues, and I mean, I took it to mean that he was saying, if we died, we'll wake up in some other world without our.
Let me ask, did you think that he was going to harm you?
In that moment, no. But here's the thing about Adam. He has an explosive temper, and I thought that it was obvious that those ideas and other ideas, because when you tell someone an idea like that, when you say that that's in your head, that's the tip of the iceberg. What's really in your head goes deeper.
Let me follow up. When you said he has an explosive temper, how does that actually come out? Has he put his hands on you before?
Yes.
Okay. Has he struck you?
No.
Has he choked you?
Yes.
Okay. Has he jumped on top of you?
Yes.
Okay. Has he thrown items at you?
Many times.
When was the last time he threw something at you?
The last time that immediately comes to mind, because I'm looking at the stain on the ceiling right now, was a milkshake, 6 months ago or so, give or take.
Now, you heard my opening that there was 2 times that police and the courts were involved with Mr. Morris in domestic violence, right?
That's right.
And how did those cases end?
How did they end?
Oh, excuse me, actually, strike that. Did you intervene on any of those cases on his behalf?
You mean in court?
Correct.
Yes, I did.
And what did you do?
Well, the first time I said it was my fault. And the second time I said he was mentally ill.
Did you ask the court to dismiss those cases?
I asked for the first case to be dismissed, and I asked for the second to be diverted, I believe.
Was the first time your fault?
No.
Second time your fault?
Not at all. No.
And there were individuals who saw these actions take place?
Well, the first time was reported by just a random stranger. The second time, the EMTs came and sure.
Okay. Have you reported?
And my neighbors as well.
Have you reported, within the last year, have you reported any acts of violence from Mr. Morris to the police?
No.
Now, you yourself have had, you mentioned that you were worried about Mr. Morris's mental health, correct?
That's right.
Okay. Did you make any statements to him after he told you that, he thought you and Juliet would be better off in another world? Did you make any statements to him about his mental health?
I tried for a month to get him to see a psychiatrist. 4 weeks, I tried. He told me that the problem was that I essentially wouldn't shut up about it, and I was stressing him out.
Now, how long after he made these statements did you leave the marital residence?
Well, 4 weeks after, because he made that comment about a comment of sympathy with the idea of family annihilation, and that scared me. It scared me. Juliet, she was going to visit my mother for winter break anyway, and I grabbed my purse and said, I'm going with her.
Okay. Now, while you were, so you went to your mother's home with Angel, is that correct?
That's right. Angel is Juliet's nickname, yes.
Angel. And for the court's clarification, when you reference Adam, even though Mr. Morris's first name is Joshua, you all call him Adam, is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. Now, where did your mother reside?
Statesboro, Georgia.
Now, while you were in Statesboro, did you have an opportunity to speak with Adam?
Well, I spoke, as in listened to him on the phone a couple of times, but mainly we communicated through text.
Okay. I'm going to share what I have pre-marked for identification purposes as Petitioner's Exhibit 1.
Sure.
Can everybody see this?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Do you recognize this text?
Yes.
Okay, what is this text of?
This is a text of Adam telling me that I live to destroy him, not to come back to the house alone, and pretending to send me money that he didn't actually send me.
When he told you not to come back to the house alone, did he make any threats on his life to you?
That had already happened. I took this as a direct threat to me, not related to his life. Although it could have been interpreted that way as well, because the two phone calls, one to me and one to my daughter's phone in front of me, both of those he said he was going to kill himself. He told my child it was my fault.
I'm sorry, say that again. So while you were in Statesboro, he contacted your daughter and told your daughter that he was going to kill himself.
Yes, he said that it would be the last time that she would ever speak to him and that it was my fault.
Okay. Your Honor, I would move to admit petitioners 1.
Any objections, sir?
No objection.
All right, it's admitted.
Do you want me to place that in the chat, Your Honor?
Sure, that's fine.
Okay. All right. So did you go back to the house after receiving that text message telling you don't be there alone?
Me?
Correct. Yes.
I didn't go back to the house until the temporary protective order was in place.
Okay. All right. And forgive me, I'm just trying to go ahead and get this over to the court.
May I interject?
But what?
Well, that isn't actually true. She did come back to that.
No, you can't do that, but you'll be able to testify shortly. So you can't
Yes, ma'am.
say she's lying.
Okay. Now, you have had you've had your own mental health struggles in recent years. Is that correct?
Me?
Yes. Have you?
Again? Oh, yes, I have.
And you're presently treating with a physician. Is that right?
That's correct.
And have you ever, or excuse me, and after the entry of the protective order, did Mr. Morris make any contact with Juliet, your daughter?
He did not make contact with Juliet. He did attempt to make contact with Juliet.
And how did he attempt to make contact with Juliet?
He texted his brother, my brother-in-law, and asked my brother-in-law to speak to Juliet.
Did that, and when did that happen?
That happened
on March the 4th?
The what now?
Was that on March the 4th?
It was pretty immediate. Maybe the next day. Was that the 4th or the 3rd? I mean, was it, I think it probably was the 4th.
Now, presently, you're asking the court today to enter a protective order preventing Mr. Morris from contacting you. Is that right?
That's correct.
And preventing him from coming within a certain number of yards away from you. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Now, are you asking the court today to allow Mr. Morris to have telephone contact with your daughter, Juliet?
That's my hope, yes.
And are you asking the court today to allow him to have daily telephone contact for 15 minutes every day between the hours of 5 p.m. and 8 p.m.?
That seems reasonable, I suppose.
Now, are you asking the court to allow Mr. Morris to have supervised parenting time with Juliet?
Yes.
And in terms of supervisors, who were you requesting be a supervisor for Mr. Morris?
I thought Cherie Morris was the ideal fit.
And who is Cherie Morris?
His mother.
Okay. And now, given that you've heard and understand that we have a divorce pending, there is spring break that is coming up for the children in APS. Would you be okay with allowing Juliet to visit with Mr. Morris so long as there was his mother was supervising during the spring break?
I would be okay with that, yes. I think that would be good.
Are you asking the court today to require that Mr. Morris continue get mental health evaluations and continue any treatment regarding those mental health evaluations?
Yes, I am.
Are you asking the court today to have Mr. Morris participate in an anger management evaluation and follow up with any treatment recommendations from that?
Yeah, I think that would be a good idea.
I have no further questions for this witness, Your Honor. And I'm sorry, I'm going to put that petitioner's 1 in the chat speak.
Mr. Morris, do you have any questions, specific questions? We're not going to argue. Questions from Ms. Morris.
Yes. Heidi, if you don't mind, will you please tell the court about your belief a year ago, in a few months, that I was a serial killer and that I was going to kill you?
Your Honor, I object to the form of the question.
Rephrase your question, sir.
Ms. Howard, in 2020, excuse me, let me reference my notes. In the fall of 2021, did you take an interest in a local murder?
Your Honor, I'm going to object as to relevance.
Well, what does that have to do with anything?
Ma'am, I'm trying to establish that the petitioner is, she suffers from bipolar disorder. She has delusions.
Stop. You an MD?
No, but it's diagnosed and she is.
Any sort of diagnosis of anybody. She's going to talk about it if she can. Number two, if she gets obsessed with some murder, most of the world was obsessed with Alex Murdoch trial.
She became,
I don't ask her questions.
This is relevant because she developed a belief.
Ask her a question.
Heidi, did you develop a belief in 2021 that you later determined to be false, that I intended to kill you?
Your Honor, again, I'm going to object to relevance.
Relevance.
I'm sorry?
What's the relevance?
How is this not clear that it's relevant? She's alleging that, I'm trying to demonstrate.
She's alleging recently that you did something. So ask her a question, follow up basically with what she's been asked.
No further questions.
You have anything else, Ms. Honeywell?
No, Your Honor, not this time.
All right, go ahead, Mr. Morris. I'll hear from you, your side.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, so if I may now say, in the fall of 2021, my wife, she became, I can back up. I'm so sorry. I got a little flustered. Okay, Ms. Howard, this bipolar 1 is a debilitating.
No.
No?
No, we're not going to talk about any diagnoses. You're not a doctor. We're not going to talk about that. And if she has some mental health diagnoses and she's seeking help for that, it's fantastic. Don't want to hear about it. That's not relevant. What's relevant is violence. Period. Move on.
There has been no violence. Period. Is the bottom line here. The issue, the occasions in 2008 and 2011.
In 2023.
Okay. Yes, ma'am. I tried to come to her and tell her in a moment of crisis that I felt that I needed to tell someone that I was feeling like a danger to myself. I have a safety plan that I developed in therapy. The first thing on it after self-care, fails, is to talk to my wife about this. And so that's what I did. Now, I do have, as she mentioned, a kind of abstract way of thinking about things from having shot myself in the head. It's a little weird. It's not like an actual belief system. It's just a way to help me understand things and make sense of the world. We talked about this at length. Toward the end of it, she asked me the question about whether or not they'd be better off in another world. The entire context of the conversation up to that point had been about me dying and other worlds being created in that way. And so I said yes. That was the whole point of what I was saying, was that I felt like maybe I was the problem and that I needed to just get out. Now, after I talked to her, I felt a lot better. The next day, she came to me. She gave me some of her old medication and demanded that I take it, and told me that I needed to see a psychiatrist by the end of the day, which is frankly not really that easy to do. We had a lot of other things going on in life. I tried to explain to her that I was absolutely willing to see a psychiatrist, but that I wanted to get a few of these other things situated first because we just had a lot going on. I didn't feel like I could really take that on. Within a few days, she fled to our friend's house, and while she was there, she told them what was going on, and they talked to her, and she came back home and said everything was good, and I thought this was settled. The further comments that she's referencing came up. We were talking about the Alex Murdoch trial, and I didn't know very much about it. All I knew is what he had supposedly done and how it had happened. And I said that it didn't make a lot of sense to me because it seemed premeditated, and so it couldn't have been a bit of rage, which is what I would understand. or something like a delusional mother drowning their kids. That makes sense. This is what I said that she took issue with and says that was somehow threatening to her. I was just trying to relate to the case as like a juror, and that is really all. She took off basically the next day, and I haven't seen my child in a month, and I'm out of my home. I don't have any of my belongings, and this has been a nightmare. I would like to ask the court. I really don't have any further need to see or speak with Heidi Howard Morris. She's filed for divorce. I'm planning to go along with that, like with it as easily going as possible. I don't want any resistance in us becoming further apart. I promise you this. I do, however, really, really, really love my child. I'm a good father, and we have a good connection. And I really think that it's important for her to have a sense of balance in her life. I don't have a problem with my mom being here, but this is beyond the pale, honestly. I'm really surprised that Heidi's asking for this, to be frank.
Have any questions, Ms. Pennywell?
Very briefly, Your Honor.
Okay.
Mr. Morris, excuse me. Did you communicate to Juliet that you were going to kill yourself?
I told her that I would probably not be able to speak with her again, and that I wanted her to know that I loved her, and that there was nothing she could have done.
And you told that to your 14-year-old daughter on the phone while she was at her grandmother's house?
She was actually in the car, and I do regret doing that, but I was very freaked out and scared. This whole thing, like, she just left with no explanation really, and no communication about what I could do in order to make it all right.
Now, let me ask.
Wasn't finished. I did become quite upset, and I considered it. I was about to. I was on the verge. But I didn't. And I'm here today. I changed my mind, and because of her.
Now, you saw what was already entered into evidence as petitioners 1, where you told Heidi Morris that she did not need to come back to the house alone, correct?
That's right.
Yeah. Did you try and contact your daughter after you were served with the TPO?
I absolutely did not. I'm not sure what Ms. Howard is referencing at all.
Did you ask your brother to contact your daughter?
I absolutely did not. He offered to do that, and I did. I've told consistently everyone. I have been strict about not, like, I don't even want people to be in the room if they call her. I don't want any. I love my daughter so much, and I don't want to mess this up.
Have you been able to? Are you been able to treat with a mental health professional?
Yes. I absolutely went yesterday, and I got evaluation. They didn't really recommend anything, but they offered me therapy, and I voluntarily took them up on that.
And that was yesterday that you got your evaluation?
That was the 15th.
Okay. And have you scheduled therapy sessions?
I have.
Okay. And is that taking place where you are right now in Kentucky?
Yes.
Okay. I have no further questions at this time, Your Honor.
Anything else? Mr. Morris?
My witnesses.
Where have they been sitting?
On the far end of the house in another room.
Tell me what it is your witnesses are going to say.
I'd like to ask my brother about the thing with the text messages, because it says that this is the only thing saying that I tried to circumvent the TPO in any way, which I did not do. And I would really like to clear that up.
Was this a text with him involved in it?
That's what is being alleged.
Your Honor, I mean, again, we're not seeking today that the court take any actions on the post-service contact, but I think I would
have to wonder why it was relevant to bring it up if the court wasn't supposed to consider it. I would like to have the opportunity to clear this up. I didn't do
I don't have an objection, Your Honor, if he wants to call him.
You can bring him in here. Well, if he just saw you, you must have been sitting pretty daggum close.
That was my mother, and I just signaled to her to go get him.
But you're going to ask your mother to testify too, and you're signaling to her? She's pretty close.
She just walked out here. Ma'am, I'm sorry, I can't film the entire house.
Oh, excuse me.
Hey. Can you please have a seat here?
Nope, I got just something to sit down.
Okay.
Hey, do it, sir. If you raise your right hand for me,
Right hand?
you swear, yeah, your right hand. You swear for testimony about to give us the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth.
Yes, ma'am.
Without his help, tell me what it is you want to tell me. Put your hand down, sir. Go ahead. Something about a text. Tell me what you want to tell me.
About a text.
May I ask him the question?
Don't give him the answer.
Okay. Did I text you on any time in March asking you to contact Julia
What kind of
Morris?
text did he text you in March?
No. I would not say that's accurate.
What's that?
I did not receive a text asking me to like provide any sort of contact between Angel and my brother in March.
You have a question for him, Miss Pennywell?
Certainly. Do you have any? You go by different aliases on the internet. Is that correct?
I think everyone
names.
everyone
Yes or
has
no?
introduced
Just yes
them.
or no?
Yes.
Yes or no?
Objection. Relevance.
No, not objection. You don't object to me telling him just yes or no.
I'm sorry, I was objecting to the question.
I don't have an objection. You go by different names on the internet. Yes or no?
Relevance.
Yes or no, sir?
I believe everyone must
No,
be
no, that's not. I want the first answer out of your mouth to be yes or no.
yes.
Okay, there you go.
Is one of those names Agent Mulder?
No.
So you've never gone by so you've never gone by an Angel Mulder.
I do not use that screen name on any website.
Okay. Now, do you have access to, since March 3rd of 2023, have you engaged in text communications with your brother?
Since March 3rd?
Uh-huh.
I'm sorry.
March 3rd is the Friday that I got the order.
Don't help him. Don't help him.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm sorry, I don't know.
I'm going to show you what I've pre-marked for identification purposes as Petitioner's Exhibit 2. Okay. Do you recognize that message at the very top?
Yes.
Who sent that message?
I believe I did.
Okay. And that message was sent on March 4th of 2023?
Appears so. Well, yeah,
Who
it
did you
appears
send
so.
that message to?
That message would have been to my brother.
Okay. And that message, can you go ahead and read it out loud?
It says, "What's up? Angel is asleep, but she is downstairs. I'll try and talk to her as soon as I get a good chance."
Okay. Your Honor, I move to admit Petitioner's Exhibit 2.
The objections.
No objection.
All right, it's admitted.
Okay. So your brother had asked you, in fact, to talk with Angel, and you were responding to him, correct?
Not necessarily on his behalf. No.
Okay. I have no further questions, Your Honor.
Thank you, sir. You go ahead and leave the room. What else, Mr. Morris?
That's all. Many people offered to.
Any other witnesses?
Oh no, ma'am.
Okay, can you bring your mom in?
I don't think that she'll really have much to add here.
I want to talk to her. Can you bring your mom?
Oh yes, ma'am.
Sorry, and Your Honor, forgive me, I just published the 2 in the chat. I'm sorry, I had a direct message earlier, so it should be there for everyone.
Are you Miss Morris?
Hi, Your Honor.
Miss Morris? Is that
Yes.
Miss Morris, it's very nice to meet you. My name's Alex Manning. I'm the judge. So, I don't know if you've been listening. So, would you be okay supervising any type of visits between Mr. Morris and the child?
Of course. She's my heart.
I can imagine. I can imagine. So,
Only one of them.
yeah,
She's
okay.
the only one.
If you got another son, tell him to get on the ball and get you some more graphics programs.
I know.
So you don't have a problem doing that. Now, if I, and a lot of times what I like to do too is allow like FaceTime, Skype, or Zoom visits, and then I let both parties record it, so that if anything says anything out of the way, and that means Miss Morris also, if she says something that's out of the way that she shouldn't say, There you go. If he says something he shouldn't say, there you go. It's recorded, and that way they can see it. Ms. Pennywell, is there a guardian in the divorce? Do you think there's going to be one?
I don't know yet. We're at the very, very, very initial stages. It's possible, but it's also possible, depending on everybody's cooperation, that we may be able to do this without a guardian. But I'm going to probably assume on the side of we're going to appoint a guardian.
So Ms. Morris, I'll tell you, and Mr. Morris, and the other Ms. Morris, is that a guardian, and it's usually sort of get a head start on it, okay? Because most judges don't like to talk to the children. Not that you don't like children, but it's a little intimidating when we try to talk to kids. Now, you have a guardian that works as an investigative arm of the court, that they can go out, they can talk to the child, figure out what's going on, come back and report to the court what's going on. They talk to you, they talk to both your sons, they talk to Ms. Morris and her family, and they do all that in the realm of the divorce. Now, and I try to appoint guardians that don't cost a lot of money, because I know people don't have a whole bunch of money to spare, but sometimes this is necessary so that you're not dragging the child into court. Because I've had people bring kids into court here, and then I go in there and try to talk to them, and they're scared to death. But at least a guardian can come over and talk to them, and it's not very scary. I can maybe foresee one needing to be there. And I want you, and I know it's got to be hard for you. You've had to struggle with this with your son having mental health issues, and I applaud anybody that has mental health issues getting help. I wish that I could name 10 people after going through the pandemic that didn't have some sort of mental health issues, depression, anxiety, or something like that. And like I like to say, in my house, we medicate. One of my little doctors is on anxiety medication because she's anxious. Slap it on him. So, there's nothing wrong with that. And Mr. Morris, I say this with all of my heart. And he got up. Or is he moving closer? The world is a much better place with you here. The world is a much better place with you here, not just for your mother, for your daughter, and for your brother. And I know the time gets dark. I understand that. Mr. Morris, I have heard over 17,000 domestic violence cases. That doesn't include the criminal cases I hear. If you don't think at times that I don't go home and want to just crawl up in the bed and, rock back and forth, you got another thing coming. It's very hard. I have my own therapist, and I'm not ashamed of it. And I hope every good judge out there has their own therapist, because they need it. Because we hear stuff, what's all the time? We hear stuff and we see stuff that we can't unsee or we can't unhear. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with it. And us judges also live in this small, tiny cloister that we can't talk to other people because we are so isolated. And then we're also, proud or whatever the word is. We don't talk to one another about it for some reason, because we don't want the other person to think that we're weak and that we don't get anything and that we're scared or something bothers us. But it is a much better place in the world with you in it, Mr. Morris. Have a safety plan. Have somebody that you want to talk to other than your daughter. Let your daughter be a child. Let your daughter be a kid. You don't need to tell your daughter about how you're feeling if you're depressed or if you're having thoughts. You got a therapist. You can let them know. You can call plenty of people and let them know. There's phone numbers. There's all kinds of things that you can do to let people know. But definitely don't put that on your daughter. That's way too much for a kid to have to deal with. Okay? Don't want to take your daughter away from you, but I want to keep her safe. Me just hearing something that you may have said about sending them to another world scares me. Scares me for you, scares me for them. Okay? But please, get the help that you need. Okay? Okay. Sorry, just have some Girl Scout food. Thanks, Cece. But it's a much better place with all of you in there, and I applaud you for getting the help that you need, sir. Okay? I applaud you, and I applaud you, Ms. Moore. But I want to get a guardian. I don't know, is finances going to be an issue, or are you guys going to be able to afford it?
My initial thought, Your Honor, I work a lot, and I want to say this to both parties because I have cases that I have. There's just guardians are there. They're not in anybody's pocket. They're there for the child and the child only. My thought would be Stacey Crittenden of the Crittenden Law Firm in Marietta, because her retainer is $3,000, so it's usually $1,500 per party, and does an extremely thorough job, or an Ashley Wine, who have much lower retainers. I don't know how expansive the GAL investigation is going to have to be in the divorce matter.
And let me ask you a question. Do either of you have an issue with the other person where they live, their house? Do you want a guardian to go and travel and look at somebody's house? Or do both of you think that they both live in a house that's enclosed?
There's nothing wrong with either home.
Ms. Morris, do you find anything wrong with his house? I mean, that a guardian needs to go over and open the refrigerator and make sure there's food?
Sorry, I'm having trouble with the mute button. No problem.
Because that saves a whole bunch of money if the guardian doesn't have to make a trip out to the house, open the refrigerator, and do stuff like that. So, is Miss Wine here now? Of all these people, and I think that would be good. And I do ask, that you both participate and put the case number for the divorce on there. And if there's some reason that you folks need to come back here before you can get from the divorce judge, you can. So what I'll do is I'll extend this, and Miss Pennywell, I'll let you work out whatever you want to do as far as visitation with the child, with grandma supervising. And grandma, what this means if you supervise is there's some chance there's an in-person, and if you go to the store, the grandkid goes to the store with you, okay? Not that I don't trust you, Mr. Morris, but that's what supervision is. Okay? That is exactly what supervision is. It's not like she goes out and gets gas and says, I'll be right back. That baby, I say that baby, that girl goes with her everywhere, okay? You can't be alone with her right now until we figure out what's going on. And both of y'all will, like I said, don't care, doesn't matter, fabulous, everybody's getting help. Doesn't matter about any mental health diagnoses, as long as you're getting help, share it with the, and it's not going to be a black mark against your name, like, hey, this is no good because they have this. Trust me, I would not have, if a guardian did that, you let me know, because that person would never, ever, ever be a guardian again in my court if they hold something like that against you. I can promise you that. But Mr. Morris, please get the help that you need.
Oh, well, but this is not encouraging.
Well, then that's a problem, because it is encouraging. And I don't think you can see the positive of it, that I'm trying to get you help. And I think you need to take the cotton out of your mouth, stick out of your ears, and stick it in your mouth. And listen to what I'm saying. Because right now, what I could say, don't you hit that unmute button. Right now, what I can say is I'm not going to let you see this kid until the guardian figures out this whole investigation. But that's not what I just said. So this is encouraging what I'm saying. Because I have said nothing negative to you, nothing, not one single word negative to you. So keep seeing that therapist. If you only see that therapist once a week, you need to crank it up. Because I just said a whole bunch of good stuff to you. I'm giving you a chance. I want you to get better, and I want you to be in your daughter's life. But you've got to be healthy so that she can be healthy. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
So it is very positive. It is very positive. And you got your mama there. You don't got but one mama, and she loves you more than anything in this world. Well, probably besides the grandbaby.
I love my daughter very much, and this is
I know you do, and that's why you're going to get better for your daughter.
This is absolutely heartbreaking.
Everything's going to work out. So that's how this is going to work out. Miss Pennywell is going to draft me up something to let it go. I'm going to set this out. Would it be, if 90 days, Miss Pennywell be good for you guys to be able to kind of get stuff on the road there?
I think so, Your Honor.
It's free.
Yeah, no, I'm taken care of with the therapy thing. I got hooked up with this organization here in Kentucky. They're helping me out. They seem really good. I like them a lot. I'm happy about it. There's really no need for any of this. I volunteered to do everything that's in the TPO.
Okay, well, see, there you go. See, now you say there's no need for any of it, but see, from what I heard, yeah, there is. All right? So, yes, there is.
I'm sorry. If I could, if you could give me until the end of the day, if I could make some telephone calls to see if we could find a guardian who may be a little lighter and say, look, can you take a little less up front?
I'm just asking Ms. Wine right now.
Oh, okay, perfect.
So reach out to Ms. Wine. You have her number, reach out to her. I just sent her that. I just sent her all the pleas.
Okay.
And the divorce end here. She's fantastic. And you got to let her know, too. Nobody needs to go to anybody's house. Y'all can talk to her. Since you live in Kentucky, you can talk to her there. Meet with her, let her talk to the child. Have everything done at once, okay? Because that's what's going to run it up. Mr. Morris, you're going to have to be honest with yourself. All right? You got to be honest. You got to be honest. You need this. We got to get you on the right track because we don't want your daughter having issues in the end. And let me tell you, Mr. Morris, nothing's going to harm your daughter. Listen, if you harm yourself, that scar will never leave your daughter's mind or your mother. So please,
that's why I'm still here.
Continue. If that's what keeps you here, then let that keep you here. Think about your mama and your daughter. All right? We'll see you back then. She's going to email you everything. We're going to, let's see, this line. I don't have an MD or a PhD, I'm just a JD, but I promise you, I've seen enough of these 17,000 cases that I promise you it's going to work. Don't let your mama down. Don't let your daughter down. Once y'all place your emails in the chat, y'all can go ahead and leave the meeting. And I'm going to wrap it up about 2 p.m. calendar. Good to see you, Ms. Pennywell. Y'all also healthy and safe. Ms. Morris and the other Ms. Morris, very nice to meet you. And
Thank you.
Thank you. Nice to meet you as well, Your Honor.
all right. And I sent it all to Ms. Wine. Now we'll let these folks in. It's 2 Lisa, start from the most recent event, work backwards. Tell me how Miss Pierre is stalking you. Most recent event means in 2023. Then Mr. Sperling is going to ask you some questions. Go, Miss Lisa.
So the most recent event was explicit picture that she had sent me of herself and her alleged ex-husband having sexual intercourse.
And gotta get some dates.
Oh, I actually have it. Give me 1 second to pull that up. That happened. I'm gonna say this was February 2nd or the 3rd. Hold on. So this picture was on February 2nd. She sent me a picture of her and her alleged ex-husband having sexual intercourse, and the message states, "I hope that you enjoyed your flowers. I picked them yourself." The night before, I had came home to flowers that was left on my doorstep. So I'm guessing she's insinuating that she came to my doorstep and put those flowers on there herself. And I do have that picture if you need to see it for yourself. It is very explicit.
Okay, stand by. Explicit meaning naked parts.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Sperling, have you seen this?
I have not seen it, Your Honor. I have a description of what it is based on, I saw the petition, but I have not seen it. And
y'all want to stipulate that something was sent?
Your Honor, I will stipulate something probably was sent, but as to who sent that, I'm not going to stipulate that it came from, that it is Ms. Perry or came from her, no.
Your Honor, if I may say something.
Can you email it to Ms. Free?
Yes, I just need the email address.
Ms. Free will put her email address in the chat. Ms. Free?
Share screen.
And then Ms. Free can, and Ms. Free. Could you email the chat to Ms. Lisa? Mr. Sperling, if you put your email in the chat, she'll email it to you and to Ms. Free. So you can just email it to Mr. Sperling and to me. All right, go ahead and tell me. So you say, how do you know that she sent this to you?
So the message is a screenshot. It came from a phone number, which is her alleged husband, ex-husband. Don't know what their status is. Not really worried about it.
I mean, how do you know that it was hers? I guess what I'm saying.
So when I reached out, I know that she had reached out to me prior, which I also have screenshots of her confronting and confirming that that is her husband, in other text messages that I could send as well. And the phone number was taken. I guess they are on the same family line, and she took over that line and sent a message from it. That's the story that I was told from her husband or ex-husband, whichever one it is.
I object to your saying.
Are you telling me that has she communicated to you through this number?
Not through this phone number, through another phone number.
But did she say something when she communicated to you through this number that you know it was her?
From the context in the picture is how I know that it is her. Yes.
All right, you can just email it to them. Go ahead. What else you want to say?
Backtracking after that situation, prior to that situation, she had showed up at a church in streetwear, ready to fight, confronting myself and the other person that's inside the picture. And she was recording. She had attacked me at one point of like pushing me, shoving me, calling me Jezebel, which is consistent throughout the text messages that she sent me the first time that she reached out to me and went on social media to harass me as well.
All right.
Hold on, I'm trying to send that. Do you want me to send the email right now, or do you want me to send this?
Well, the email that you wanted us to the court to look at, yes. Then go ahead and send that to Mr. Sperling and Ms. Free.
Okay, give me 1 second. I'm going to share, see if I can share this entire album.
Just go ahead with the rest of your testimony.
Okay. Okay, yeah, so prior to that, we was at church on, let me see, I can give you a date. This was January 22nd, the Sunday. Leaving church, she appeared in a parking lot, dressed in sweatpants, Crocs, hair tied back. She proceeded to attack Mr. Jerome, that was the person I was with. She had tried to attack me. She tried to push me for a car key or whatever. And yeah, just continued with the harassment, called me a Jezebel, accused me of sleeping with married men, even though this man presented himself as divorced. And she was just completely out of rate to the point where other people that were in the parking lot like came over. I know that there was a cop that had came. I do have short footage of that as well. That kind of dispersed the situation and had everybody go their separate ways. And after that, she continued to go on social media. She started harassing my manager.
I just want to know what she did to you.
Yeah, that's what she did. When she came to the parking lot, she had harassed me. She pushed me. She was recording me. She was accusing me of sleeping with married men. Yeah, that's what she did. She tried to fight me to get a car key because he had gave the key to me to go wait in the car, and she was pushing me back and forth. That's when another person stepped in, and that's when the officer that was there stepped in and was speaking to her as well.
All right, anything else?
Prior to that, she had reached out on social media, commenting under multiple posts, calling me a Jezebel, accusing me of...
How do you know it was her?
It was her because the first conversation that I had with her, it's repetitive. She reached out to me. I know it's because she confirmed based off of the mutual person, like stating that that's her husband. And she just continued to harass. Like the communication across the board was the same. I can show you on shared screen the messages as well if you need to see that.
All right, go ahead.
Okay.
And you already sent that video to Mr. Sparley?
Yes, ma'am. Okay. Okay. Just coming out of this movie. Okay, so here, this is the first text message that you can see of her reaching out to me. It says, "Hi, I was looking for my husband, but I found him. You can keep on borrowing him, but remember that's all that it is. A good time, not a long time." I said, "I'm sorry, I think that you have the wrong number." She said, "No, I."
Hold on.
Mhm.
Is this a lawyer?
Yes.
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, ma'am.
Let me check something, see if I have to recuse. He appears in front of me a lot. I don't know if he appears in front of the chief.
Okay.
See, I'm coming in there with 3. I can call the chief. So, yes, he does appear to me often, not in front of Judge Houston, but all the evidence, any and all evidence needs to go ahead and be sent to Ms. Reed. Dropbox. However, Ms. Reed's going to pass it on to Judge Houston. Judge Houston's not going to look at it, but at least she'll have it, so there won't be any exchanging of evidence. So, Mr. Furley, whatever you got, y'all still may have to share it. Obviously, you don't need to share it connected on the screen, but you'll be able to pull it up and look at it. But any and all evidence, you go ahead and send it to Ms. Reed, both sides. And Judge Houston's going to get this because I do know, because that lawyer does practice in front of me a lot, and I don't have a personal relationship with him, but I see him all the time, but I just don't think that it would be appropriate for me to hear it. Because I do see him all the time. In a professional manner, basis on the course of.
Oh, you ain't seeing him,
Judge
huh?
Houston does
Judge
not.
Manning, you ain't seeing him.
So it's usually Judge Houston here, she goes on Monday, Mr. Furley.
Okay.
So the Mondays work for you, Ms. Jerome Pierce and Ms. Lee Sight, and Monday it'll probably be, how long do you think this will take? How long do you think that will be? Hour?
Yeah, about an hour should be good enough, Your Honor.
About an hour, okay. So, Ms. Delbrado, is she here today?
Yes, Your Honor, she is here.
So she will send you, if y'all put your emails in the chat, she'll send y'all the date, with an hour. And is there a Monday, Mr. Sperling, or something that doesn't work for you that we need to know about? I don't know if you have any.
Obviously, other than that,
Any Monday except for the 27th. So Ms. Free's going to pass that along. Everybody, please, right now. Videos, still shots, emails, text messages, whatever. Go ahead and email me to open the Dropbox. Well, do you want Dropbox or just PDF?
The petitioner sent them to me through the chat, and I'm able to download them and create a file, which would be a lot easier than the Dropbox, to be honest.
Okay. So if y'all have anything, if y'all want to go ahead and upload it, send it to the chat to Ms. Free. She'll upload it to a folder, pass it on to Judge Houston, and then Ms. Delbrado will send everyone a date for Judge Houston. But I do have to recuse from this one because I do know him. Obviously, like I said, on a professional level.